Okay, just a quick channel update. My chips have arrived from China and they were freezing by the time they got here. Haha. I have, as you can see, CPU. That's a 65816. So it's 8-bit data bus, but 16-bit registers. And from what I understand, the way that it pulls the 16-bit in is to do 2 passes to the RAM. That's here. So it takes the 8 bits and through one cycle pulls that into the first register, and then takes the next 8 bits and puts that into the second register, and then that becomes a single 16-bit register. So I think it's A, B are the 2 registers, and then C is the single 16-bit. Okay, and then I've got a video processor. Now this is a Yamaha V9958, and it was in a computer called the MSX2. I think it was number 2, which is very nice. From if you look it up on YouTube, look up MSX, and you can see some pretty nice graphics out of this chip. You know, it does good resolution on the TV. It's capable of doing PC resolutions, and it has the capability of doing 65,000 colours. So, you know, proper 16-bit capabilities. But what I found out, so it's just arrived, the pins are closer together. Now the problem with that is that I can't get it into my breadboard, because the breadboard is this standard, whatever it is, 1mm across, and these pins you won't see on my camera because it's a piece of crap, but they're actually closer together, even though the chip looks like a normal chip. So yeah, I'm going to have to make a PCB to put this onto. So, bit of a pain in the arse, but there you go. So anyway, so this is what the games console is going to be. You've got the CPU. I need a ROM chip, so the ROM tells the CPU what to do. Okay, so that's like its initial. I haven't got one yet. That's like its initial loading cycle to say, what do I do? And the first thing you say is go and look for an SD card with the game on, and then it will go off and look for it. When the game is running, the things like you know, what your score is and stuff like that, that needs to go into somewhere. The registers inside are not big enough to hold a lot of information, so that's when you start to use the RAM. So that's your stack of memory. Now, what will happen then is you will also have some of these output pins go into well, you can actually probably use the same RAM, to be honest. Why not? So you can divide the RAM up into different parts, and the video memory will then use part of it. So the CPU will write to certain parts of the RAM, and then the video memory will access that RAM, and that's what builds up the dots on the screen. It's just the pixels made up of, you know, the ones and zeros inside the RAM chip. But from what I understand, this processor, this video processor, can do a lot more. I think you can actually have sprites and collision detection and stuff like that inside the video processor, so you don't have to leave it up to software. It's actually in the video processor where all of that sort of stuff happens. Sort of like the new 3D processors of today, where, you know, the polygons and things like that are rendered on the graphics card, and then the CPU has to do very little. It leaves it up to the GPU on the graphics card to actually render all of that sort of thing. So that's sort of what this does, from my understanding, that you can have 16 sprites inside the chip, and, you know, control them and texture them and colour them and all that sort of thing, plus a couple, maybe 2 or 3 backgrounds. It looks like quite a nice bit of kit. Anyway, so that's my channel update. That this is the beginning. You know, this is the first video of how it's going to start. So I've got the CPU, I've got the RAM, I've got the graphics card, as it were. Need a ROM chip to program. Need some controller interfaces so I can plug a controller in, and sound chip obviously at some point, and just start to build up from there. And you know, I mean, look, here we go. Here's the is the Mega Drive here. So there isn't really that much difference to what I'm doing now. I'll take you around the Mega Drive in case you've never seen inside one before. So there's your game carts. That's where it loads from. So the CPU is down here. It's a 68,000. There is a ROM somewhere. It's probably this one here. Yeah, probably this one. And that tells the CPU on its initial load to look for the game cartridge, and then the game cartridge then runs. I think this is the video processor. So, and I think there must be RAM inside one of these as well, because these are custom-made Sega chips. So this ROM must also be RAM, I'm guessing. If this is ROM, I mean, it's all complete guesses. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say this is half ROM, half RAM. The video processor will obviously access that RAM and then output to the RGB circuit, which is down there, which currently is this one here, but for some strange reason I can only get black and white out of it at the moment. So that I'm still investigating that. So the CPU puts the pixels into RAM, and then the RAM and then the video card reads from the RAM. Down here, these chips here, I think, are the controller interfaces. Some people, I think they're called UART. I think it's called for the type. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's the controller interfaces. You've got a Z80 processor here, which I think is what powered the Master System. Anyway, so the Z80 processor controls. I think it's this one here, which is Yamaha sound chip. Not sure what this chip is here. Maybe this has got something to do with sound as well. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you know, I don't really know a lot about this motherboard, but I've been working on it for a little bit now. You've got your voltage regulators there. You've got your RF unit there. That's your video out. But if you can see it there, sorry. All of these are disconnected now because I'm trying to eliminate as much noise as possible to find out, you know, what's causing the interference. And I think it's just that these are not powerful enough, and so when you're trying to drive this video driver here, so when it's sucking too much power and causing the regulator to mess up. So what I've done is I've just put a 47 ohm capacitor across there, and that sort of smooths out the power. Is this a quick channel update? I guess it is. Anyway, so that's it. So that's how the Mega Drive works. You know, somebody writes the program and the program runs and it goes out through the video, it goes out through the sound, and it's controlled by the controllers. Simple. Well, here we go. We've got ourselves a processor, we've got ourselves some RAM, it goes out to the video processor, it will go out to the sound processor once I get it on here. You have the ROM to tell it what to do, and plug that into some kind of SD controller and sound chip, and job done. There you go. So thanks for watching, and like and subscribe and comment, and if you want to join in, you know, I can let you know exactly what I'm doing, what all the chips are, where I got them from. Very cheap. I think the 6502s, it's not 6502, haha, it's got 6502 emulation, it's a 65816. I think they cost me about £2 or £3. The RAM, this is SRAM instead of DRAM because I don't want to get involved with refresh circuits and things, so I've just used the SRAM. So they were about £4, I think. The video processors were about £2 or £3. They all come from China, so everything comes from China. And that's it. Oh, and back here with the Mega Drive, that's the clock there. So the clock is then stepped down. It's 53 megahertz, goes down to about 20 or something to run everything. So obviously I'll need a clock on here, but if you've checked my other video with the 555 timer, there you go, I've already got a slow clock. It's not a crystal or anything, it's not going to be in the megahertz, but it'll be enough to, you know, start ticking it over so we can make sure everything's working. Okay, that's the update, and thanks.